Are you a professional pillow fighter? Or a 9-to-5 low-cost time travel agent? Or maybe real estate sales on Mars is your profession? It doesn't matter. Whatever it is you do, however complex or intricate, Monday.com can help you organize, orchestrate, and make it more efficient. Monday.com is the one centralized platform for everything work-related. And with Monday.com, work is just easier. Monday.com, for whatever you run. Go to Monday.com to learn more.
Well, I don't see the point in waiting any longer. So let's bring her out. The star attraction, the one you came to see. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Miss Judy Gold.
So you have these various jobs, right? Mm-hmm. And then you are gonna, do stand-up. And then, and your father's dead. And your mother, you're living in the basement of your mother's house. Is that correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you pretty much, I think you got successful pretty quick. You got, like me, I was told I was funny early on. And I was told, I was different. I wasn't like everyone else. But I feel like you had that sort of people telling you you're funny.
Somebody called it breadcrumbing, and I guess that's a good way to say it. Like, you get enough stuff every couple of years so you don't quit.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe if I didn't get anything for 10 years, I would have quit. But because I got Last Comic Standing, 6 or 7 years in, and then Montreal. Right. And that's why my mom started again, because she saw me getting stuff. And she was like, oh, I could definitely do this.
She helped you with your first set, right? First time you went on stage.
She did help me with my first set, yeah. A little bit.
So you start getting stuff. You get Montreal. Then you win some award at the New York Comedy Festival.
Yeah, and then nothing happens for years.
I know. That's what people don't realize. It is the bread. It's true. It's so true.
I didn't even know the name for it.
Right. But for some people with wieners and balls, no. But they get that. Then it becomes, it's just so not fair.
I just never took off. And I mean, I had the worst manager from Montreal. You probably know who it is. Do you know Wayne Rada?
I heard of that name. Yeah.
He used to book Stand Up New York.
Oh, yes.
He's not a great person. I took him as my manager to Montreal. He stayed in my hotel room with me and my boyfriend. He fucked like a dude on my couch while I was sleeping. It was like my Montreal experience was the worst.
No.
He got into a fight.
Oh, I wish you had called me. Oh, fuck. You can always call me.
Oh, thanks. But I'm just saying, after that, I didn't get anything for years, and I left him, and then I got another manager. Just I don't know. I just got little things like breadcrumbing, but you never pop.
Right. I feel the same way about myself. Okay. So Margaret, your mother.
No, Debbie.
Debbie. Who's Margaret Galligan?
That's hilarious. Somebody wrote an article and said, that's my best friend's mother. Somebody wrote an article and said, that's my mother. That's hilarious. It's not.
See how many articles I read?
I said it to my friend. I know. And I was like, I wonder if you read that article. You did. Yeah.
Oh.
Margaret Galligan is my best friend's mother.
Oh, all right. So you start getting stuff, and there's jealousy from your mother, right?
Yeah. She would ask me how I got stuff. And it would be
people don't realize that, you go up to, there are those fucking asshole comics where you get something, and instead of the comic going, great, that's great, they go, how'd you get that?
But my mother even was like, how'd you get that? And I was like, I don't know. I worked 8 years really hard for it. And I would get so mad at her because I'm like, you have the luxury of not even working. So you should be out every night doing 8 spots.
Right. Is she funny?
She is funny. She's different from me, but she is funny. She does also have a dark sense of humor too, but not that much on stage. Me and her, we do bond over shopping. We love to shop.
Right.
And it is funny because sometimes we'll think of something and she's like, I can't say that on stage. It's just too dark. I remember we were somewhere and maybe I was getting a shirt that was a large or an extra large. And she was like, well, why don't you try this one? She's like, sometimes the kids, they make them smaller. And she's like, that's something I can never say on stage, but it is funny.
Right.
The kids making your clothes, they don't all sew the same.
Yeah. So,
which is really funny.
You can say that. Why can't you say
but
that?
I can say
Yeah.
whatever, but I was saying she would think it doesn't fit her persona on stage.
That is so fucking funny. Did you not tell her things on purpose so she wouldn't be like, "Where'd you get that? How'd you get that?"
She would find out.
Right.
She would find out, or I would tell her, or she'd see it on Facebook.
Right.
What she would do that would bother me is she would tell other people I was her daughter, and I think to try and like get stuff, and that really pissed me off.
Oh my!
The last show I did with her, we did my mom actually does a lot of urban shows, and I used to do them too. Because like if you're funny, they'll laugh, they don't care. Doesn't matter. Right. So my mom brings a bunch of her old white lady friends to this urban show that starts late, and they're all like tired. It's like supposed to start at 9. It starts at like 10 or 11. They start chanting during another comic set. They're like, "We want Debbie," and I was like, "This is the last show I will ever do with you."
Right.
I think we might have done one other show after that.
That's so funny.
I was mortified.
I hate when people come to comedy clubs and act like fucking like I don't go to your fucking office and act like that, you fuck. So you then in 2000, is it 13 or you got Letterman, but
yeah,
you spent a year and a half.
Jesus Christ. How much practice, like what did you do to find all this stuff out?
I do my research.
Because it's not all in one place.
I know. I do a lot of things. So you...
So crazy.
I think that people do not like, I really want you to help explain this. You have Letterman wants you. They're like, you're great for Letterman. And you're perfect. You're New York. He doesn't like, like me, like, hey, what the fuck, like the loud, he likes very cerebral. You're just perfect. But for a year and a half,
there were 3 bookers. So this is the problem. I got stuck with the booker.
Which one?
Ryan, who was scared to take a risk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I would ask him about a joke and he'd say, "You can't do that." And then I'd ask him a month later and he'd be like, "You could do that." I was like, "How come you told me I couldn't?" He goes, "It depends what we get in trouble for that week." So, I mean, I'm seeing other people get a Letterman audition and then getting it 3 months later. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Why is this taking so long?
And did you tell anyone you had gotten Letterman? Because I never tell anyone anything until I'm done with it. But
I think I probably told like a couple of close friends. Like I didn't like brag about it.
You weren't like, I hate those comics that are like, yeah, I'm doing this. And you're like, oh, shut the fuck up. All right. Yeah. So, okay.
No, maybe a couple of friends and that's it.
Okay. And so Ryan has to go around to the clubs with you, right?
So Ryan's not even how I got on.
Right.
There was a woman that worked.
Yeah.
Okay, he's the person I went through, but there was a woman that was also one of the bookers. She had a baby, and my friend was like, "Hey, you should just tell her congratulations. She knows who you are because she has seen you."
Right.
I congratulated her, and she's like, "Hey, where are we with your set? Let's get you on the show." And then she got me a spot like 2 weeks later or something. It was very quick once it went through her. But that dude, if it was up to him, I would have never gotten on.
Well, she's a woman, and he's a fucking fraidy cat guy. Okay, what is he doing now? Is he very important?
I think he books another like late night show, maybe Colbert or something.
Oh, all right. So, okay. So you have the set put together and they know what it is. And they keep saying no?
They moved my set around a bunch. I couldn't start out with the joke. They wouldn't let me do my opener and they wanted me to put my closer in the middle.
Right.
And then I was like, all right, I'll move my opening joke. Because the joke was about like eating baby carrots and how like,
that blind joke. I fucking love that joke.
But they wouldn't let me open with that because I said blind.
Okay, so can we tell? Let's just tell everyone the joke. It's so fucking funny. You're in an elevator.
I was in an elevator eating a bag of baby carrots, and this guy's like, "Those are really good for your eyes." And I was like, "I know. I used to be blind." And then they wouldn't let me do that joke as the opener. Because I said blind, so I had to like move that around.
Oh, okay.
And then my closer was about seeing 2 female cops and like,
this is like, the best.
They wanted me to move that to the middle. Yeah, they wanted me to move that to the middle of the set because the original punchline was like, if I called 911 up and 2 women showed up, I'd just be like, I could just do this myself.
Right.
And I was like, great. Now
funny joke.
And I was like, now all 3 of us are going to get, I think I said choked or stabbed. And they were like, that's too violent to end. You could put it in the middle. I was like, well, what if I just change it to robbed? And they were like, okay. But like, I had to fight for every joke with that.
That's what people don't realize. Like these sets are, scrutinized, rebooted. Like it's ridiculous what they do to comics to do fucking 4 to 6 minutes on a late night show because they're afraid of the FCC and they're afraid of the host. It's fucking horrible.
Well, also, you're a comic. You know what joke is a closer.
Right.
So, but they're just like, hey, just close with another joke. And you're like, no, that's not actually how the set works. Like there's a closer is the biggest joke. So yeah. Yeah. And I did that and nothing really happened after that either. I went like to work the next day.
You did anyone? All right. So first of all, you killed. Please go online and look at Adrienne Iapalucci's Letterman set. It's so fucking funny. And you killed. You fucking killed.
I had a good set.
And you get up the next morning and it's just, that is the thing about stand-up. It's like you can fucking work at, Carnegie Hall and then the next night you're at some shitty club trying out new material and everyone hates your fucking guts. It's hard to have an ego as a stand-up comic.
Well, also what was funny about that is I did well, and then he asked me to come sit at the chair with him, and I thought that was like such a cool thing.
Right.
And then I talked to Eddie Brill that night, and he like took it away from me. He's like, "Well, that was planned ahead of time. It had nothing to do with your performance." And I was
know what?
And I was like, "Just let me have it. Who cares?
Right.
Why would you even tell?" And
like, it wasn't planned, and I can tell you right now, it wasn't planned. Okay.
I know, but it's like, why couldn't he just let me have
that? He walked up to you
way?
after. He walked up to you.
But he couldn't even let me have that, and I was like, "Why? Just let me have it."
You know why. Why.
Dumb,
right.
And I was like, just let me have it. It's so dumb. Why are you taking that little bit of joy?
Right.
And I was just like, oh, okay. I didn't know that. And I wish.
And Howard Stern was on that night too. So the audience was riled up. Yeah.
Howard Stern was on. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wish in retrospect, like I could go back and have been like, hey man, why'd you have to tell me that? Or like,
I know.
That's not even true.
You could.
I'm not going to do it now.
I know.
There's no point.
Maybe I will.
No, don't tell him.
So, I've called him out on a lot of shit, but I still love him. I've known him forever, but I
love him too. He's always been very nice to me. But it was just a weird thing where I was like, we're not competing.
Yeah. Hello.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
You were also in a car accident.
Yes.
Is that your first bout of depression or?
My first bout of depression was right after my dad died. Like I didn't realize how depressed I had gotten, but that was when it started. I think I took off a semester from school and I was just like in my basement by myself as like a depressed, sad person.
Right. And did anyone say, Adrienne, you need to, get some help?
I don't think so.
Oh,
everyone is. I think everyone was. I mean, like we did go to therapy on and off my whole life, but like it was about arguing.
Therapy?
We went to family therapy, which is awful. Like we went to go see this guy, Dr. Jaffe. His office smelled like garlic, and we didn't talk about anything that was actually pertinent to feelings. We argued about who was going to clean the bathroom. Like
so
nothing productive. So it was nothing that was actually productive. But I have been in therapy since I was like a kid.
Right. And then so when was this car accident?
When was a car accident? I think I got into two.
Oh,
one,
nice.
Well, they weren't even my fault. One was a drunk driver hit me. And the other one was I was driving to school and this woman was driving on the Bronx River. This one I was going to Westchester and she lost control of her car and her car went like this and hit me oncoming. And I totaled my Jeep. And what was weird about that is I totaled my Jeep, the airbags went off. And like when I woke up, my dad's MasterCard was in my hand. It was such a weird thing.
Right.
Because he had just died pretty recently before that.
Wow.
But yeah, I don't think that made me as much depressed as like just my dad dying.
Yeah, it's fucking sucks. And I don't know. And when you're in your 20s, it sucks even more. But I mean, it sucks. Other kids have, lose whatever. Okay. So, you go to work the next day and so you're back down to, level 0. Does anyone in the office say, "Oh, I saw you on Letterman"?
Well, this is the thing. My boss, so at this point I'm working as a paralegal.
Right.
And my boss, I got very close with my boss there, and she actually came to the taping, and she did buy me a Letterman hoodie and left it on my chair. I might have asked if I could have that next day off, and she was like, "Yes," but on Monday I saw it. They were very nice to me. Her and my male boss. He drove me nuts, but
were they Jewish?
Great. He was Jewish. She was Hungarian and Italian, I think. I don't know.
Okay, I just had to ring the bell. Okay.
Wait, what is the bell for? Anytime something's Jewish?
Yes, anything that's Jewish, it's a bell.
I didn't know that. Well, Mr. Meltzer was Jewish.
Okay. So, this is 2013, when do you quit your job?
2013, they closed, and then I just stopped working and
right.
got a little bit of road stuff from Letterman, did a couple festivals. And then I think I kind of just struggled for years. And then I would nanny on and off. I did that for a bit. Like last year when I did the Degenerates, it wasn't even that much money, but it was the most money I've ever made doing stand-up.
Right.
And it wasn't even that much.
Right. Yeah, they used to pay way more. But did you feel more confident or respected by the other comics after you did your
Letterman?
Yeah.
I guess I've always felt pretty respected by comics.
Yeah.
I feel like the industry doesn't respect me.
Oh, please.
Or they don't like me, or I've always felt very respected by comics, but yeah, I don't feel like I'm not an industry darling. They don't love me.
Yeah. Well,
they don't like what I do.
I do. And you know what? It takes one person. It takes one person. One.
I know.
That's it. And I'm 58 years old. I'm still doing this shit. Okay. So
that's crazy because you look really young.
Oh, thanks.
And you had kids.
I had kids and I'm 58. My mother had really good skin, but and I'm immature. So there you go. Okay.
I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
So you did Last Comic Standing. Now I know a lot of people that did Last Comic. I hate. And I know you do too. I read somewhere that you said you don't like the competition part of it, but you thought it would, I feel like you can't, it's a sense of humor. Yes, we know what's funny and what's, really fucking funny because we're comics, but I don't know. That kind of thing really pissed me off.
I did the Last Comic Standing twice. And the second time I did better the first time. And then the second time I did it, it was right around the same time. Right after Letterman. So I did that same 5-minute set. And Roseanne was just like, that set's not that great. And I want to be like, I just did that on Letterman. But she was like, I think the ending was good, but the other jokes weren't that great. And I was like, all right.
All right. Well, take care. And here's a racist tweet for you to write and have a nice life. Okay. So you have a very hilarious presence on social media, which okay, so I have a love-hate relationship with the social media because most of my career there was no social media. It was notebook, get on stage, there was none of this, you're going to be a star because you got this many, likes on something or that something went viral. Your dating stuff?
Oh, those Tinder things? I've decided I'm going to turn them into a book. And I just got another account because I keep getting blocked and suspended and shit. But I just started trolling people on dating sites.
Right. Please do a couple of your favorites. So you'll go on Tinder and you'll start a conversation.
I'll start a conversation, and the more desperate they are, the more fun it is. I remember there are a couple that are my favorite. One was this guy that it was 4 or 5 in the morning. I couldn't sleep. It was this redheaded fireman. And I could tell he thought I was going to help him jerk off, which is great because they will go along with anything you say.
Right.
So I told him at one point I was a fireman, but I thought they were just going to let me cook. And, I couldn't bring any of the stuff out. And he's going along with all this stuff. And he's like, oh, I'm kind of in a naughty mood. I was like, speaking of naughty mood, have you watched the Michael Jackson documentary? And you could just see how, and I was like, would your brother gotten fucked by white Michael Jackson or black Michael Jackson? And then he would just like stop talking to me. But that moment, I ruined that for him and I loved it.
Right. And you then take a picture of it on your phone and put it on Instagram. And it's the fucking funniest thing. I mean, yeah.
It also is the most fun thing.
Right.
It makes me laugh.
Right.
Like I'm doing it and I'm like, I can't believe these people are this dumb.
Right. Well,
but dudes are very dumb.
Right. You got kicked off. Like what happened?
So this is what'll happen. I will like, when I feel like I've pushed them too far that they're going to report me, I will just like screenshot everything and then delete them to try and not get kicked off.
Right.
But eventually people report you. So you just keep getting suspended. So now I have to go to my friends that I feel like have good enough marriages where they're not going to need Tinder and be like, can I use your account and phone number and stuff?
That's hilarious.
So I just got a new account.
Oh, that's great. I can't wait for more. Any other good ones?
There's
I mean,
so
they make me they make me crack up so much.
I mean, there was one guy that said he liked the hat that I had on, and I told him how I modeled hats on the side, but it's like a really backstabbing business, but it's okay if you don't get stabbed in the head. And I told him about how like a lot of people don't know this, but like I said, I had this roommate where she would do this thing where like the tinier your head is, like the more beautiful you are. So she would do this thing where she would put herself in like Russian nesting dolls till her head was so small. And I said, and then she ends up dying, but she couldn't even enjoy it because her head was so tiny. And I mean, dudes will just like be like, that's crazy. And then still just keep talking to you.
The funniest part of it is that they think you're serious. And then, and it's so fucking ridiculous. And they're going along and you're like, you're a fucking stupid. That's why fucking Trump was president because of people like that.
Yeah, but those people are everywhere. Like I put a joke. I mean, I hate social media because I don't think people really understand comics on there. Like I said, I miss Trump and I was like clearly joking. And this lady was like, this is a hard unfollow. And I was like, well, you follow Ari and he donated $500,000 to Trump Towers to keep him afloat during the pandemic. And instead of knowing that's a joke, they were like, I'm unfollowing him too. And you're like, oh, I hate all of this.
I know. I hate social media. I hate it.
My worst days are the days I'm on there the longest.
Yeah.
My most depressing days and saddest days in pandemic are when I'm on there a long time.
It's also like I definitely feel it mentally when I've been on my phone too long. I get anxiety and I'm like, get this fucking thing away from me. It's hard. It's really hard, especially when you're a comic and you're so used to like, okay, I'm going to get on stage. I'm going to get a reaction immediately. And now the only time we can get a reaction is like we write something funny on Twitter and they're waiting to see if people think it's funny. You know, it's like fucking mental.
Well, also everyone just cares about what your Twitter following is and like how many followers you have on Instagram. So it's like you're programmed to like try and get all these followers so you can do the road, so you can make money. It's just like you're ingrained to try and get these followers every day. And I don't know. I find it frustrating.
I hate it because, you know, I remember thinking, oh my God, I have to have a lot of followers after, you know, I've done this for over 30 years, 35 years. Now I have to get followers. And I'm thinking, and then I looked up like James Taylor and Carole King. And I'm like these fucking TikTok people have more followers than like these legends, you know? So I was like, fuck it. You know, half my audience doesn't fucking give a shit about social media.
Watched Letterman's Netflix show. He had Kim Kardashian on.
Yeah.
And she said to him that her two younger sisters, I think Kendall and Kylie, she's like, they have no idea who you are.
No fucking way.
That's what she said to him. And he was just kind of like laughed at it. But like, yeah, he's so famous and they have no idea who he is.
It's just ridiculous. One of my favorite jokes of yours.
Let's hear
it. It's the chapstick joke. It's so fucking brilliant. Yeah. That is a brilliant joke.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. You have a new album out. It's called Baby Skeletons.
Baby Skeletons, yes.
And how is that doing? And tell us a little bit about that.
So I taped it in 2018 and I used it to try and get like a special. And then I was going to tape a special. I was going to tape a special last year.
Yeah.
And then that didn't happen. I know. And then I was like, I guess I'll put this out to try and make some money so I'm not homeless.
Right.
I don't.
And then you don't. And then you realize you don't get any money for a really long time. Yeah.
Right.
If
so
that.
I have no idea how it's done. You know, I've gotten some positive reaction from it, but I don't know. I don't think anything really happens. Do you know what I mean? Like when people are like, how is it doing? I'm like, I guess good.
Right.
It's not like I've gotten a letter from anyone in the business and it's like, you've reached the standard.
I know, but no one's doing anything. Like literally everyone. Yeah, there is no business. And you know what? Who the fuck knows what the business is going to be after this is all over?
It would be great if the business was eradicated and you could just put your shit on YouTube like you can and just blow up from that. Like Andrew Schultz is pretty much proof of that. Netflix didn't want his special. I don't think he's Jewish. I think he's German.
Fuck that shit. Okay.
But maybe he is. I don't know. But they didn't want his special. I don't think he is. They didn't want his special. He has gone on stuff trashing them. And then he releases his own special on YouTube. And, you know, he has a pretty good following. He's on like Charlemagne's show.
Right.
And like he goes and builds like this viral audience. And then Netflix came to him.
Right.
So it's like,
they don't give a shit.
They don't give a shit.
Right.
So, and it's because he has over, you know, a huge follow. He has like over 1 million followers and he's very funny and talented. And you're like, these people don't even care what you're saying about them. Do you know what I mean? Like if they can make money off of you, they will.
By the way, he was the most watched comedian for 2018 and 2019 on YouTube.
That's great. He's probably making a killing off YouTube.
Right. See, I don't have the patience for that shit. You know what I mean?
Why don't you have someone doing it for you?
I have someone, but I don't know. I mean, I have someone doing my social. I just can't. And I
get it.
I don't want to put on fucking I don't know. I'm such a purist. I really do love the live audience and
just take some of your older stuff and put it back out on YouTube and stuff. That's what you don't really even have to produce new stuff. I mean, you can, but
I have to get it. What if they own it, like Comedy Central and all that shit? Can you still get it?
I think so.
All right.
I don't know. I don't think I've done like nothing really on Comedy Central, but your manager can probably get it for you.
Oh, because they really work hard. And so, and my old HBO. Yeah, that would be. I'm gonna do that. Thank you, Adrienne.
Get your old HBO special. Right. Get someone to caption it. Put it on YouTube. Put it on all your social media. Have people share it and stuff. And like, you can start making money off YouTube if you're not already. I mean, I'm not in a business. Well, I'm not either, but like, do you know Liz Neely?
Yes.
She's one of my closest friends. Hilarious. I love her. She's she's another person where the industry has not been like that gracious to her. And she's built her own following and she's got, you know, like 50 or 60,000 followers on Instagram and the same on TikTok. And she's kind of built her own thing and she works really hard. And she's an example of somebody that like you can build your own audience and you can really say fuck the industry.
Right. And you also have to just reinvent yourself and do the work. That's it. You're going to work for the rest of your life because
I hope so.
You are because you didn't get handed something. And then all of a sudden you're like, wait, no one likes me anymore. It's like the key to this business is when you get something that you're prepared. And when you are not like everyone else, you will have a longer career because, you know, character actors or different kinds of performers, as they age, for some reason, they get more work and their stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's true.
This week's episode of It's Judy's Show with Judy Gold is sponsored by BetterHelp. And if you know me, which I think you do because you're listening to my podcast right now, you know that I am a big advocate for therapy. I think it benefits everyone. I think there's so many people who need it, who don't partake. It is so important for your emotional health and well-being. Therapy is fantastic. It is in every stretch of the imagination. And if you're thinking of starting therapy, please do it. But please give BetterHelp a try. It is entirely online. It's designed to be convenient. It's flexible. It suits your schedule. You fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. I have switched therapists in my life. I've had many, many therapists, and sometimes it's not a great fit for you, but don't give up. Therapy is beneficial. You can learn about yourself, you can process, and just be emotionally healthy. I'm telling you, do it. BetterHelp is great because, when I used to schlep to my therapist's office, it was so annoying. You have to do, and you sit there and you wait, and then I'm telling you, doing it online is fantastic. And BetterHelp is amazing. I know a lot of people who've used it. So if you're thinking about therapy, go to BetterHelp.com. Let the gratitude flow. This is Gratitude Month, people. So you need to let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/JudyGold, JudyGold, today, and you will get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/JudyGold. You're welcome.
I want everyone to follow you because you remind me a little bit of Margaret Smith. Did you ever see
I've been told that before.
Yes. She was
That's
one
funny.
of I used to open for her. I love that you do what you do and don't give a shit, and you have to keep not giving a shit because you're fucking funny. And I just, my book came out, and you're just like the perfect example of it's not, the joke's not about you, and you can talk about anything as long as it's funny. And you're a very good craftsperson. You're like great. I love your stuff.
That's
fucking
so nice.
love it.
Thank you so much. That made my whole week.
Oh, please.
But also,
right.
I think people need to realize you can talk about anything, and it's also doesn't mean you don't see the seriousness and the awesomeness in it.
You're not right. So it's like
I don't think people get that you can separate that.
Right, because they're programmed. Like, I talk about it in my book. But I talk about, if I'm doing a joke about the Holocaust, if you're doing a joke about a school shooting, you're not lessening the horror. You're not, saying it wasn't awful. You're acknowledging that it happened, but you're looking at it. That's the thing. People are like, you're cheapening it. No, we're not. We're not cheapening it. We're talking about it. Like I get people who get mad at me about my Holocaust stuff. And I'm like, I get on stage every night and talk about the Holocaust. So
you can talk about whatever you want.
Yeah,
it's like,
so
you're entitled to not like something too.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like I respect anyone's right to not like me as a comic.
Right.
That's totally cool. But when people try and cancel you for jokes they don't like, and it's like, well, what else? Do you talk about your own trauma? And it's like, yeah, man, I had a childhood where that's how I dealt with life, through humor. Do you know what I mean? And that's how most comics.
Adrienne, if you have not read my book, you have to read my book. You'll love it.
I'm going to. I don't read. I never read, but I'm going to read your book.
All right. Or you can get the audiobook, but it's my annoying voice. But it really is, this is what it's all about. Cancel culture and comedy and First Amendment rights.
It's so frustrating. Everyone wants to cancel me.
You have to read it then, please.
I'm going to.
All right.
And I want you to know, I wanted to read it. I'm just lazy.
That's fine. And brutally honest, which I love. Okay, so before we go, I asked my guests questions. Number one.
How many people have I fucked? No, I'm kidding.
Hey now. Have you ever had a lesbian? No. We're very pro mental health. I suffer from, we already talked about this. So what do you do for your mental health, for your depression, for your, how do you take care of your mental health?
Sometimes I'm better with it than other times. Getting out of the house. If I'm in the house too long, I start going fucking berserk.
Yeah.
And then I break up with my boyfriend and tell him and the new puppy have to leave.
Right.
And he's just like, all right, let's dial it down. Like, what's going on? Do you know what I mean?
I love it. What does he do?
He works in what's he do right now? He works in like a factory.
He's like normal. He's normal.
He's a normal person. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's a normal guy.
That's so funny that he gets you like that. Okay. Yeah.
And then last night I was like, I'm going to get rid of this puppy because it's just like too much work. And then this is what my night was last night. I'm driving to the laundromat and I was like, I can't get rid of this puppy. I love her. And then I was like, oh my God, I didn't realize like my biological father just gave me away so easily and I can't even give this puppy away. And I was like, I was in a spiral. I was in a spiral by myself at 6 a.m. at the laundromat by myself. That's what I was doing this morning.
That is, I love, you have to write a bit about that you can't give your puppy away. And
I know.
Father,
I should call him up and ask him how he
hilarious.
did it.
Right. That is fucking great. That's such a great bit. Oh my God, I love it. Okay.
But I was so upset. I realized that. I was like, oh my God, like I've never dealt with any of that stuff. So yes, talking to friends. I have friends that are very good. I could call anytime.
Therapy,
getting outside the house, walking, hiking, just like honestly getting off my phone. My phone leads me into deeper depression.
Same.
Yeah.
The final question, the podcast is called Kill Me Now because, as you know, I get pissed off about every fucking thing to, the nth degree. So what pisses you? What makes you fucking crazy angry? It could be anything that just fucking gets you like.
Driving. I have terrible road rage.
Road rage. Be specific. Because I think Elisa has, I have road rage too, where I'm like, I get to the point, like if someone, all right, this is so unreal, like it's too much, but like when you drive on Cape Cod, right? There's one part of the road that it's just one lane and there'll be a fucking slow person, right? Who I go in my head and I'm like it becomes, you're fucking up my life. You are fucking up what I want to do in my life. It's so ridiculous. It's just like someone just drives slow and I take it into this fucking level of you ruined my day.
It's a personal attack on your life.
Yes.
They personally set out to ruin your day.
Yes.
I remember when I was driving a lot, I would seriously drive and fake shoot people. Like everyone would just be fucking dead. I'd be like, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead. That's what I would do.
Did anyone ever see you?
I don't know. Probably not. But like that's what I would do. I would be like, you're useless. You shouldn't be here. I have the worst road rage. I think.
Do you scream in the car? Do you cry? Like I am like, you fucking fuck,
Sometimes I'll get upset, but mostly, I think if I had a gun in New York City and drove, I would shoot everyone.
Right.
I think most people would. It's just you almost leave your body and become another person.
It's true. I don't know what the fuck that is. And New Jersey,
we're all rushing to get nowhere, like to go home.
Right.
Like it's just like you want to get there as quick as you can. And road rage is probably my number one thing. That and like the cancel culture.
Oh, I can't with that shit. It's like, you know what? If you don't like a fucking joke, then
not listen to it.
Yeah, turn the channel. Like, shut the fuck. It's not about you. It's awful. I love that you have road rage. I
the most.
Yeah, it's bad. Mine gets really bad too. It's like, and there are people like, do you have friends that are like, well, don't get, it's not a big deal. And like sometimes I'm in a cab and the guy is like really calm, like some fucking
makes you nuts.
And they're like, why get upset about something like that? It's a big deal. So
I think it depends where I'm at in my life. If I'm in a good place, I could be kind of like that. But if I'm
I can never
in a pandemic and have to be a barista, I'm just like mad at the world.
If I see a bumper sticker I don't like Trump Pence or NRA or something, like I then have a mission to like go up next to them and be like, you fucking, I mean, like, and they don't even look at me. It's like, but I get this whole like, you fucking piece of shit, it's bad.
And you probably also just like develop a whole story for them.
Yeah. Oh, please. It's beyond. It's not fun living in this head, but I have no other choice. But Adrienne, I can't thank you enough. You're fucking hilarious. Do not quit ever.
I'm not gonna quit.
But
I'm gonna call you when I want to.
You please. You don't know how many fucking people I talk out of the, talk off the ledge. And also we have to work together because you're perfect to work with me because you're so fucking funny and smart.
I would love to.
Let's do it.
I wish we could do a show with all women that wasn't a women's show. It's always branded as a women's show, and you're like, can't we just be funny?
Also in my book. Also in my
All right.
book.
You sold me.
Also
I'm going to
in my
read
book,
it.
the
It
whole
is going to be
thing.
the only book I've read this whole pandemic.
But you'll love it because you'll love it. And there's
I'm going to
so
get it
much
on my phone.
There's so much history of how we got to, like, a lot of lot of history of censorship and stand up and stuff. You really learn a lot about how we got to this fucking place. But
let me ask you one question. Do you think we are going to get to the place where it's going to get worse? I thought the pandemic, it would get better because people would see the seriousness of like death and all this stuff and loosen up. And I think it got worse.
I agree with you.
And I thought it was going to get better and it got worse.
It definitely got worse. And it's also this fight of like, who owns free speech now? Like the right-wing haters or the left, like that's also in the book. It's the left and the right, the
extreme.
Yeah. But it's also like, fuckface, orange fuckface, his speech incites violence, and we're just trying to fucking make you laugh, you fucking asshole, It's all, I think
I'm going to read it.
Oh, I love you. All right.
I am. I'm going to order it when I get off the phone.
Okay. You're the best. Ladies and gentlemen, where can everyone follow you?
You can follow me on Instagram, Adrienne Iapalucci. Twitter.
Iapalucci. Okay. Yes. Not AIA. Okay.
Yes. But if you spell it wrong, Twitter,
yeah,
Google's pretty good about being like, did you mean this lady?
Right.
I don't know. Listen to Baby Skeletons, The Degenerates season 2. I was the last episode. It's so funny when I was upset about my dumb situation with my dad and stuff last night, I got a message on Instagram from some guy who had just watched The Degenerates and loved it.
Yeah.
It was like that little bit of karma that I needed. Yeah. So I don't know. There's something out there. I don't know what it is, but there is something. Yeah. Vag podcast. Listen to that.
VADGE, everyone.
Yeah, not VAG, which a lot of people think.
Yeah, they're idiots. Thank you so much for listening to part 2 of Kill Me Now with Adrienne Iapalucci. How fucking hilarious is she? Huh? Now, Kill Me Now is produced by Laura Vogel, edited by Colin Schmaling, and this podcast would not be possible without the help of Brittany Jo Sowards. Nor would my life be possible without the help of Brittany Jo Sowards. Anyway, if you like the show, subscribe, please. Leave a review, please. Please, 5 stars, please. Then I get more listeners. And then people like me more. And it's all about me, 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 me. Speaking of me, if you haven't purchased my book, yes, I can say that. When They Come for the Comedians, we're all in trouble. Seriously? Like, I don't even know what to say at this point. Okay? It's an awesome book. If you love stand-up. If you love me, how can you not? Read the book. I mean, look, there's nothing going on right now anyway. There's a pandemic. So that's it. Also, on March 13th, I will be performing live on a stage at the Fairfield Theater in Fairfield, Connecticut. They're only allowing 100 tickets. So get your asses there, buy your tickets, and then some of it's going to be live streamed. I mean, all of it's going to be live streamed, but I don't know how many tickets are selling for that. But anyway, please, if you want to laugh, March 13th. And if you live in Connecticut, and if you don't, just drive there. You have nothing to do. Anyway, that's all I have to say right now. It means so much to me if you check everything out at my website, judygold.com, JUDYGOLD.com, or you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I will, you'll hear what I have to say, what I'm thinking, and what I'm doing. What more can you need for your life? So everything's at Judy Gold, JEWDYGOLD. Like Jew, because I'm a Jew. Keep wearing your masks. Everyone, I hope everyone gets a vaccine soon and we're done with this fucking shit. And stay safe. I love you all. And as we always say, so long.
And everything was wonderful. I'll see you soon. Thank you for the visit. So long.